So here we are 10 seconds before the start of a 12-minute race here at Spa-Francorchamps. I'm starting in third position, managed to get a qualifying lap in this time, though those behind me don't have qualifying time, so not too sure. Now that Trump in front is actually way quicker than anybody in this field, and I expect him to clear right away. His pole was by quite a few seconds, so just the typical rolling start here with the aim of just getting up through the first lap clear. Always got to be a bit careful coming into Eau Rouge here. A lot of cars trying to make their way through. So what's the aim for this race? This race we're starting third, like to finish on the podium. Probably settle for fourth if I had to settle for fourth, but probably don't want to finish any lower than that. So waiting on the green light, and we're green and we're racing. So as expected, the pole sitter just clearing out there, letting the second place car through, and Porsche getting a little run on me there as well. So nice and steady through there though. Broken a little bit of a gap out already, but did let Orbit get past me there probably a little bit too easy, but we're all through safe and sound. So braking for the first time and just making sure again, just trying to be steady here, not too aggressive. We've got pretty cold tyres, low PSIs, so you just want to be careful here, not pushing too hard, and the brakes are just warming up and just turning green now, so getting a bit of heat into those brakes. So the first three, a little bit of a gap already, a couple of seconds ahead, but we've also pulled out a bit of a break on fifth place behind us in KC there in his BMW. So I mentioned in the last video a little bit slow through here. Do feel like I dropped time through this part of the track, but so far on this lap nice and smooth, and I'm pretty happy with how things have started here. We've kept it clean. There's been no rubbing or any damage to our car, and we've kept it on the black stuff, which is a pretty good start. So as we just come round now to put the foot to the floor, we can see KC now just popping up in our mirrors there as he gets a little bit closer, probably a little bit wide there and a little lift that I didn't really want. Again, with this long run you can see those brakes are a little bit cold again. Not really getting a huge workout here at Spa across a lap. So coming up towards the end of the first lap, it's been nice and clean. We're in fourth. Nice braking down, but you can see here, and we get hit by KC there. Probably overly aggressive. He's tried to go up the inside there where there was just no gap. I would have felt that was my corner every day of the week, but he'll move away there from me. Didn't feel the need to give the place back despite the crash. Dawes dives down the inside but out brakes himself, so we hold on to that and we set off after KC. As I say, I feel that in through the bus stop there, that was all mine, and had I been in his position I probably would have by now just eased off to let the other car pass, because he only made it through by hitting me. So got a double yellow waved. It's probably somewhere behind us by the look of it, not showing up on the track map, as Dawes comes up on our outside here, so this will be tight into the braking area here in his BMW. Brake about the same time, nice there, giving each other racing room, and I've just touched the accelerator there with the car unsettled, so that is completely on me. That is a real rookie error. Quite annoyed with myself there for that. I know the car was not on the racing line. I just needed to let the car settle, point it in the right direction, and then accelerate. I got a little bit too impatient and had the little spin, so lost a bit of rhythm now, and as a result we've made another mistake in the next turn and actually hit the wall and suffered a bit of damage to the car. So after a nice first lap, really quite annoyed with myself here that we're really just a couple of mistakes there that just shouldn't happen often the way for us not so talented drivers. We follow one error up with another Probably that braking concentration, a little bit annoyed, not paying as much attention as I should. So now I just got to put my head down, get back into a rhythm. But some pretty nice lines through there. So got 9-second gap now, and I've dropped back to 8th. And you know, that pre-race planning of a podium is now well and truly out of the question for me. So we'll just run down here and see how we go. There's certainly nobody around me now. Looks like 4-second gap to the car behind me. A little bit wide there, but that's okay. And we'll just take it nice and steady here. So it does look like something's happened, because I sort of caught those cars up. They were 9 seconds ahead of us, but they're now only 5. So we've got Carlito and Santiago in front of me now. And I've just got to try and work my way back through this. So as we break in, with a 2.1 second gap now, I've got the bit between the teeth so I can set off after them, and I can see 2 spots just in front of me. We've already got one driver, Millet, in the pits there, and dropped down to 10th place and lapped. So coming through here, probably a little lift there again, so probably not quite carrying the speed I'd like. But get a good run here, and Santiago now in the Lamborghini is really in my sights, and feel like we'll be able to put a bit of pressure on him. He's gone a little bit defensive in his line into there, and as a result he outbrakes himself. So he's gone off track, and he's also picked up a drive-through penalty there, but then he's ran wide and beached it, so he'll drop behind us now, and we'll move back up to 7th place, so that's nice. And we've got Carlito now in front of me in the Aston Martin to chase after us. So we just get after him and see what we can do about that gap of 3.4 seconds. And we've got 8 minutes left in the race now, so one thing worth noting, if you look to that right-hand side there, I'm carrying 13 laps of fuel. I've carried too much fuel into this race. I actually forgot pre-race to adjust my fuel setting for the 12-minute race. So I'm carrying a little bit of weight, and that's hurting me in lap time as well. And the car's also a little bit more heavy than it probably needs to be in terms of steering and response. So reminder to myself next time, remembering to get my fuel loads correct for the time of race I am running. So nice run through there. We've kept that gap at about 2 seconds, and feel like now see the leaders putting in a 2:23 there, so that's a really good time. My best time about Spa when I'm going really well is about 2:26, so 23 is quite a bit ahead of what I can do. So braking in, Carlito just braked himself a little bit there and invites us back in a little bit, but again, that excitement of a car nearby, and I get just a little bit too aggressive onto the power again when the car is not settled and I don't have full traction. And you'll notice my traction control is down at 4, so I'm running a bit more of an aggressive setup here to get a bit more drive out of the turns, but the upshot of that is can break that traction. So I've let him get 4 seconds ahead of me now, so a little error by him and a little error by me. In NFL parlance, offsetting fouls, and play on. But that gap now, just that little bit big, but I've brought it back down to 3.5 with a good run through there, through Illusion Radion. So as we come into the braking zone, feeling like we're doing well. He's touched the dirt there, just brought up a little bit of dust. That gives me a little bit of hope that he has run a little bit wide, cost himself a bit of time, but I again just a little bit too aggressive there, a bit of a power slide, but I'm able to save that one and keep it pointed in the right direction, and we're now down to 2.7 and feel like we're now got him in our sights to be able to actually have a go at him. So he's come a little bit wide out of there, and we definitely feel at this stage like I'm gaining on him, and I've got his time measure, but there I just went to brake a little bit later. No great damage, but I have had to lift and drop to third and he's just pushed out to 2.9 there. Just trying to make up a bit of time with a little bit of later braking into there. And as I say, I think I dropped time through there most laps, so I am looking to be a bit more aggressive coming through there. So as we come up for the long run up to the chicane, and we'll go on to the powerful here. We've got it back down to 2.4, so we've recovered that time, and we're looking like we're going to have a good run here and are actually gaining on him. The perception visibly is I'm gaining, not quite showing up in that split time there of 2.4, but certainly feel like I'm gaining on him as I'm driving it, now down to 2.2. So we'll just brake here a little bit later just to try and close the gap, but nice turn in. Little bit more patient here, let the car find its level. That's a much nicer way to come through the chicane there and get a good run out of that. But we're doing a 2:30, so we're a little bit quicker than him that lap, but 2:30 would be for me a little bit off the time I'm expecting to run. Nice out through one, keeping it pretty steady. Now, one thing to note though is we're 4 laps in and I've not set a legitimate time yet. Made a mistake on just about every lap, and as a result I don't actually have an official time there for my best or my predicted time, so I don't know whether I'm up or down on that 2:30. But I am gaining. We're back to within 2 seconds, and we can get some good run through here. Feel like half a chance to really gain on him. So again, just letting the car find its level there, not trying to push too hard. And nice run out onto the ripple strip there, onto the curb, and then come down through, and feeling like he's certainly aware I'm here and I'm not letting the pressure off at the moment. So can we close down under that 2? Just don't seem to be able to break the 2 second at the moment. A little bit wide through here last time, so probably a little bit more cautious here. Again, a little bit wide, but no real damage. Able to keep it in 4th. No real lift there, and we've finally got that down under 2 seconds. So if we can keep going the way we're going, definitely he will be feeling the pressure now as we're down to 1.4. Will be looming large in his mirrors. So takes all of the curb there, a little bit wide. Yes, I feel like I can get a better run out of here. Hopefully gain some time. So 1.3, 1.2. And got that chance here as we get it down to 1.1 into the braking zone. So overtaking opportunity here, but not one that you want to force, and get him coming out of there. Get a nice little run here, but he goes defensive, so certainly knows I'm there, and we're now under a second, and that 2:27 is a little bit more like the time I would want to be running. And we'll just keep going. Apologies if you can hear my daughter in the background there. Under a second, head into a rouge. Oh, he's run a little bit wide there, so we should get a good run here. Yellow flags in sector 3, but that's not going to worry us. We're down to 0.7, just got to keep pushing here as hard as we can to keep the pressure on. A little bit later on the brakes into there, probably a little bit too aggressive on the brake, but get away with it and keeping that nice and tidy now to try and see if we can get up there, but we're just sort of stuck here, not really able to. It's a bit hard to overtake through this sector of the course as well. You'd have to have a good run and a compliant driver in front of you, but we're up to 6th. We've got 5th in our sights. Don't think we can get towards 4th, who are 27 seconds further down the road, but I certainly think this 5th place could be ours here as we keep this pressure going here. Forced to come down to second there just because he was a little bit slower and just needing to react a little bit now to him. So he's now more or less slowing me up. And we're on the final lap for the leader, so we'll only have one more lap to go as we get a really good run here. Best look we've had so far this race. Just trying to think about where I can try and do this. I'm not sure we'll be able to go up the inside here, so might have to wait for the chicane and see if we can drive down the inside or even wait for turn 1 if we can. Both of us run wide there. It's really game on here. Good racing. And get a nice turn in there now right on the boot. I can just give the back bumper a little bit of a clean for him on that close. So what can we do here going into 1? Probably not quite close enough here to be able to get him, but that pressure has forced him deep and given me the chance to take my normal racing line, and I get through. I'm really happy with that. That's a result of pressure over a couple of laps there, I reckon, and just forced the error from him. I'm already 1.9 ahead now, so good run through here, holding it nicely, and I think we're going to have a pretty good lap here. And we've now got 2.6, and I feel like he's behind us. Probably not going to get to 4th, but we've battled back to 5th from some pretty ordinary driving early on. But the back end of the race, I feel like a really good session for me in the back end. And feeling like now we're gliding through these turns so much better. And I think the pressure's off from behind. Nothing to really chase down in front, and we'll just have to see how we go. Something's doors there dropping down to second. KC looks like he made a late pass there to get up to second. They're only less than a second between them on the track in second and third. First is a little bit cleared out. Gap to 4th is 26 from me, so and about 20 seconds from 4th to 3rd. So here we go. We've really put together quite a nice lap here. I'm quite happy with this lap. The leader crosses the finish line. My best lap time this race has been a low 2:27. I'd like to try and beat that this lap. Still haven't posted an official lap, you'll notice there, but this one's been pretty clean, and I don't think I've had any strikes on this lap, so we should be all right. And I'm pretty happy that we've pulled out 7 seconds on Curculito behind me after we got past him in turn 1. And whilst we didn't really make any impression on 4th, who has taken the checkered flag in front, I feel like we did okay. So as we come in for the final time, let the car flow through there, and Dawes been applauded for some good sportsmanship. But we crossed the line in 5th, and we actually posted 2:26.027, so that's a really good lap for me. That's really around as good as I can do around Spa, so a really good way to finish the race. So happy with that. We go back to the garage and have a look at those final results. Good win there to the Porsche of Menestrina, who won it by 4 seconds from KC and Dawes. Dawes there appearing to hand a place back late to KC and getting commended for his sportsmanship, which we like to see. Gadjad ahead of us, then us in 5th, ended up 9 seconds ahead of Curculito. 5 laps behind was H1. Miele, Pavlovsky and Schmidt all ended up in the pits. But really great race. Errors by me early on, but felt like in the end drove a pretty good back half of the race, and I hoped you enjoyed that. As usual, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me where you think I'm going wrong, or if I'm missing any other errors other than those stupid errors I've already mentioned. But we'll see you on the next one, and hopefully next time we get thrown onto a server other than Spa.